Shkodra region has everything worth for a Mediterranean love at first sight. Ancient history from 4th century BC, still represented today by Rozafa castle that dominates Shkodra lake, the rivers of Buna, Drini and Kiri, Velipoja floodplain and Adriatic Sea in the west. Further north, Albanian Alps, where Moshi and Thethi look just as impressive. The following is our AOS birdwatching and wildlife journey to 4 areas worth to visit and remember. The Lake of Shkodra, an important bird area, a nature-managed reserve, and the Ramsar area expands both in Albania and Montenegro. Thousands of birds nest here over the leaves of water lilies. The whiskered terns, estimated at 2,000 breeding pairs, have here one of the biggest colonies in Europe. More than 25,000 water birds, coots, pygmy cormorants, tufted ducks, poachers and grebes find shelter here during cold winter. Reedbeds become home to many species, notably the great reed warbler, whose breeding song prevails the water atmosphere. While the little bittern lands and rests over the leaves of water lilies in search for a breeding mate, others are already nesting. As this coot mother, now firmly brooding the eggs in a nest built of tiny stems over the aquatic vegetation. Such habitats and landscapes are not bare of birds of prey. While hares are common species, even the golden eagle use the site as a feeding ground. Together with its historical, cultural background and warm hospitality, Shkodra Lake is a place worth to visit, where people could easily spend excellent time. If we go further west, we will reach Buna Velipoja, a nature-managed reserve and an important bird area. Apart from bee-eaters, herons, waders, cormorants and pelicans, Buna and its meanders are a lively habitat for insects, fish, amphibians and several species of reptiles. Thousands of water birds are seen here during winter. In a stormy weather, bee-eaters regroup and wait for the sunshine. When it comes, birds start feeding again. Pygmy cormorants stretch and dry their wings, while others look for fish in water depths. The river outlet is a roosting site for gulls, terns and cormorants, while the northern shore of Buna River is home to a colony of spoonbills, glossy ibises, pygmy cormorants. At Javshtichen, we start finding all sorts of flowers and insects. A Hermann's tortoise grabbing its morning food, or a snail, or flowers, insects and songbirds. From here, Domni reed bed, the largest reed bed in Albania, looks majestic. It is a great migrating and wintering habitat for birds. During spring, little eagles fly here and there in search of a better feeding ground, while the squacko heron waits for jumping amphibians. Nature in lowland areas is just amazing, but the mountains are spectacular too. As we leave the plain and head towards Vermoshi, we cross first Leke de Hotit. We see mountains after mountains, rocky areas, and several slopes covered by evergreen shrubs and beech forests. Leke de Hotit is an interesting site for several species. Black-headed bunting sings for attracting potential mates, while red-backed shrike and Spanish wheatear feed on a multitude of insects. Temi River Valley is always a real beauty, and a perfect spot for the rock nuthatch, blue rock thrush, the dipper, a common species diving under the running water. Further up in the mountains, we cross first to Lepusha, or the paradise of hikers and trekkers. When the snow starts melting and creating lively streams, insects go out to profit for the short summer months. This is more evident in Vermoshi Valley, where meadows are now covered with flowers and insects. The mountain slopes are the beloved place for birds and bird watchers. As the clean waters of Vermoshi and Lepusha go towards the Danube, we remain impressed by this nature beauty. The road to Thethi National Park starts with the valley of Proithad, a torrential river that takes its origin high up in the Alps. This semi-arid land is the only desert-like place in Albania, but it has not prevented locals to plant lavender and sage, creating thus a colorful mosaic of habitats. Further up, the red-backed shrikes remain vigilant as its chicks demand more and more food. Thethi Valley is always spectacular. Surrounded by high peaks and forested slopes, it offers a wide variety of habitats full of plants, flowers and other creatures. Every visitor has here plenty to stop. It could start with Thethi waterfall and continue to the river with its blue waters until the cataract of Thethi. Further down the river lays Nerlusai, known for its ponds and the walking path to Capre, a remote but famous place where the Blue Eye is also located. The surrounding forests and meadows are excellent habitats for several species of birds. The presence of the capercaillie is almost certain. Alpine meadows are filled in summer mornings with the songs of blackbirds, larks, and pipits. When the night falls in Shkodra region, the visitors often ask themselves to stay another night and enjoy the next morning. It ought to be a never-ending question.